Today is a pretty awesome day because today we have this. This is the DJI Mavic Mini, and it's been kind of sitting in our office shelf for quite a while, but finally we have time to fly it. I mean, we could try and fly it in like PJ, but it's PJ, right? So we're gonna take a little bit of a road trip and see if we can find some beautiful Malaysian scenery to fly this drone. Pretty excited. Let's go. Now, we didn't have a lot of time to film this because we needed to wrap by the end of the day, but I knew that I wanted to get as far away from the congestion as I could. So we headed to one of my favorite locations on the outskirts of KL, Bukit Tabor. But when we arrived... Wow. Look. That's what happened. They completely blocked it off already. So that's why we can't go up. We can't actually climb up Bukit Tabor and fly from the top. But they didn't say that you can't fly up. You can't climb up with the drone. So we're gonna find somewhere to park down here and see if we can fly up here and get some nice shots. After a short drive, we found a quiet place near the side of the hill. Let's do a bit of an unboxing. So. DJI Mavic Mini, this is their new drone. It is very affordable and it is supposed to sit above the Spark. Or no, it's actually supposed to replace the Spark. It's the new entry-level drone. But the thing about this drone is that it's supposed to be super light. So the selling point is it's 249 grams. It's below 250 grams, which means you don't need to get it registered with with some authorities. I think it's like the FCC or something. I don't know. So the cool thing about this though is actually in Malaysia it's actually really affordable. This whole set, this is the Fly More kit, 1,999 ringgit. That's even more affordable than when the Spark came out and you had to buy just the drone. That was I think 2,000, maybe even more than 2,500 ringgit. So with the Fly More combo you get quite a lot of goodies. And it's all neatly packed in this little bag. So you get the controller, you get this, which is their new multi-battery charger. You get 3 batteries, 1 in your drone and 2 extra. And then this cool multi-charger, you see there's a USB-A port, so you can use it as a power bank. This is to charge it, and this is the battery meter. Oops, that's kind of disgusting. So it's really neat, really cool, very small. Then here we've got some extra propellers, and there are a bunch of other cables and stuff, but I didn't bring it. I only brought the only cable that I needed. And then this is the drone. Woo. Look at that, it's so tiny and it's so light. And honestly, look at that flex. It feels a bit sketch and a bit cheap, but I don't know if it will survive a crash very well. Let's go. Little did I know, we'd be testing this theory later. Oh! That's the problem. This is the lens cover which we're gonna take off. This is the camera. Look at that. So the legs fold out, a lot like the Mavic, but that's the little camera. And then, so one interesting thing that you might notice, can you see the front here? You see these little vents? They're not actually vents. They're just a sticker. So it's I feel so cheated right now. But it is what it is. So this is the battery case cover. So it's really light. There is no cover for the SD card and port, so I don't know if this will handle very well in rain. You shouldn't be flying a drone when it's raining anyway. Luckily it's not. Look at this beautiful sky. But I have been told, or at least I have seen reviews saying that this little drone doesn't handle bright sunlight very well, and this might be a bit of a problem lah. But anyway, let's start flying it. Up until this point, I had never flown the Mavic Mini outdoors before, so I had no idea what to expect from its capabilities. I expected it to be somewhere between the Spark and the Mavic 2, and it kind of is. It certainly felt more responsive than the Spark, but it definitely lacked the power and acceleration that I loved from something like the Mavic 2 Zoom. Still, I had enough power to get pretty much every shot I needed, which was great. And the footage from this first flight looked pretty good. It definitely struggled with the highlights, but you can bring most of it back with a little tweaking in post. But inevitably, we ran into a problem.
I'm not sure why, but it's like right there, but we lost control.
It's a bug maybe?
Oh, you can see it. Oh shit, it's gonna hit the trees.
So we're 2 batteries down. We're gonna try and relocate, I think somewhere over there to try and get closer to the water, because like the water shots look pretty... The water shots look pretty epic. The water shots look pretty epic. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can find like somewhere there to take off the last battery, and then we're gonna see how fast we can charge it, I guess. I don't know. We'll see lah. Jom! While I was able to get a little closer, we ultimately ran into the same problems.
Signal lost.
I think it's time to give up on this place. We'll see if we can find somewhere else to go. The interference here is quite crazy. Anyway, we are at Batu Dam. We're at the side of the road. It's Batu. Here we definitely had better luck with both the connectivity and the lighting, leading me to get what is easily my favorite shot of the day. With the clouds to diffuse some of the light without darkening the scene, you can really see the Mavic Mini shine. But despite being one of our best flights of the day, I was still struggling to fly further than 2 kilometers, which is less than half of the Mavic Mini's quoted 4-kilometer range. Granted, these aren't ideal situations, but if we're being real here, it's really hard to find ideal flying conditions, even if you go looking for them like we did. Baby, come back to me. In the following days, I tried multiple times to fly around suburban Petaling Jaya, but I was often never able to get more than a few hundred meters away before the drone completely lost its connection to my controller. It was really frustrating. For context, I was able to get much more range out of the Mavic 2 Zoom when flying in the same spots. But of course, that is a more capable and more expensive drone. I will, however, say that the Mavic Mini gets much better battery life than the Spark. With the Mavic Mini, I was able to get between 15 to 20 minutes of flight time on a single battery, which is pretty good for something so small, but it's still nowhere near DJI's quoted flight time of 30 minutes. That being said, the Mavic Mini certainly has its own set of strengths. Its size and weight, for example, are unrivaled as far as I'm concerned. And if you're skilled enough to combine that with the drone's maneuverability, you can fly this drone in some seriously tight spots for really cool shots. But if you're not skilled enough, the drone's lack of sensors could get you in trouble. Oh! Oh no, 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 it's still alive. There's a bit of a damage here already.
It's okay.
Crack, we crashed. No! So what happened was I was trying to do like quite a close maneuver. I thought I could make it, and then it just clipped the side of the tree, and it was like, and well, my heart stopped. But that's what happens when you don't have obstacle avoidance. The drone's fine, it still flies fine, everything's working, it's a bit dirty, but there is a small problem where the top case is a little bit cracked. Sorry DJI. Then you've got image quality. For an entry-level drone, I'd say that it's good enough. Sure, it tops out at 2.7K resolution at 30 FPS, but under the right lighting conditions with a little tweaking in post, you can get some phenomenal results. It will clip highlights and is absolutely terrible in the low light, but if you keep those in mind, the average drone pilot should be more than happy with the footage you can get from something this tiny and this affordable. So I guess the thing about the Mavic Mini is that it really feels like an entry-level drone, but it doesn't feel like an entry-level drone the way the Spark feels like an entry-level drone. Like, that made flying really easy. It was like basically idiot-proof. It has so many sensors, you could fly it with your hand gestures, you could fly it with like your smartphone. The Mavic Mini is a very different kind of drone. Like, in fact, it's a more manual drone. It's almost like a Mavic 2 Pro Superleggera, because it's so devoid of like crazy sensor features. There's no obstacle avoidance, you know, nothing like that. There's only one sensor at the bottom to detect when like something's gonna hit it when it lands. So that is actually something that you need to adjust to. Because of that, I don't think like this is a really good beginner's drone, because you're losing all that safety net. But if you are someone who is familiar with drones, who can fly drones, you know, then something like the Mavic Mini is actually really tempting for when you want to travel, because it's so small. Even in the Fly More combo, the big kit with like all the batteries and the controller and the drone, like all of that, that can fit into a backpack quite easily, I would say. So if you want to bring this for like travels and stuff like that, it's okay. And I also think that the drone, even though it's so light, it's still more stable than the Spark was when I used it. It's still a little bit more powerful, a bit more capable. I think the gimbal is more reliable than the Spark. So overall, I think like as a cinematic drone, if you're good at flying, this is definitely an upgrade. And all of this comes at a much lower price. And that's the most important thing about this drone. At 1,999 ringgit for the Fly More combo and 1,599 ringgit for the drone alone, it's a super tempting proposition. It's even more affordable than a GoPro Hero 8, and this can fly. Of course, you'll have to deal with the compromises, the lack of sensors, the poor connection stability, and the fact that you can't shoot 4K footage. But I think for the most part, most people will be okay with this as a trade-off for its portability and price. But that's what I think. What do you guys think of the DJI Mavic Mini? Do you own one? Have you flown one? Are you interested in getting one? You know, I'd love to hear all your thoughts in the comments below, so be sure to leave them there. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also like us on Facebook, but our home will always be at soyachinchow.com. Until next time, I'm Rory, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!